Hello everyone and welcome back to another day, another album. It is a brand new day today. Let's go see what the RNG machine says we're talking about today. Alright, today we're talking about the final album from Tupac, released under the name Makaveli, the Don Killuminati, the 7-Day Theory. Now, normally I'd say, you know who Tupac is, but from having been on this platform a little bit, I'm not honestly sure people nowadays remember the many sides that made up the legend that is Tupac Shakur. We all know him as one of the biggest and most legendary names in hip-hop of all time, but he was truly more than that. He was an actor, of course, but he also was a civil rights advocate, being raised by a mother in the Black Panthers and encouraging pro-black messaging in much of his own music. Yeah, we all know that famous opening line from Hit 'Em Up, "That's why you fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker," and the likes of California Love. But this is also the same man who wrote Brenda's Got a Baby and also rapped about his single mother raising him while fighting a crack addiction. Tupac is gangsta, but he is also conscious, and his purpose was always bigger than being on anyone's top 5. All the contextualization, though, doesn't really play as much a part on this album, however, as this album is more of the revenge of Tupac, with his new alias, Makaveli, referring to the historical adversary, and the album's tone is mostly in that vein. The opening song, Bombs First, My Second Reply, starts with newscasts announcing the release of the album, with other rappers rushing to change their release days, or even conspiring together to kill Tupac. And honestly, this point and other points of the album feel like it fuels a lot of the conspiracy theories about Pac, but I doubt it would have been something seen by Pac when actually making the album. It names names too, from Jay-Z to Nas. No one is safe. The song proper continues with this theme, with Pac letting a barrage of threats open to his melodic and gruff delivery in his verse. This is the classic 90s West Coast, leaning away from G-Funk on this track to the hardcore gangster roots of the region. There's also a feature from Pac's crew, Outlaws, and I'm not really going to mention them much because they're okay. They don't ruin any of the songs they're on, but they're also kind of just there. They don't really add that much of a presence onto the album. Hail Mary is a haunting song of Pac pleading his revenge following his death, and his flows on this track honestly feel as modern as ever, matching this incredibly dark beat very well. Pac brings his brand of gangster rap almost into horrorcore, and it's fitting with the lyrical subject matter of his gangbanging stories and street violence. Pac continues the path of vengeance with Toss It Up, with Pac taking aim at Dr. Dre with his per usual attacks on Biggie, Lil Kim, Puffy, etc. At least until his verse starts and it turns into a Thugs Need Love anthem, or like a gangsta sex jam, which honestly makes a lot more sense when you learn that this song actually started out as a remix to the 1996 R&B classic No Diggity. And I kind of wish it was just a remix though, because this feels like a reproduction in a way that a song really shouldn't, especially on the choruses. It feels like a discount No Diggity. Also, this song is really long, which is the case for just about every song here. Every song is minimum 4.5 minutes. This is a good thing on the great songs, which there are a lot of on this project, but it can bring down songs like this by just going on and on and on and fucking on. To Live and Die in LA is a tribute to the West Coast home of Tupac, who was actually born in New York. This anthemic ode to his home gets more into the G-Funk of the era, and Pac gets less threatening and more reminiscent as he talks about the stories of growing up and how fame has made him the person he was. It's honestly just a feel-good 90s vibe. Blasphemy shows Pac once again getting in his gangster rap bag, bringing his wrath to an institution that actually deserves some fire, the motherfucking Catholic Church. The motherfucking Christian Church. His criticisms of those holier than thou, while imbued imbued in their own sins and without them understanding what a life like Pac's requires. One of my favorite lines on the song is, "Should we cry when the Pope die? My request, we should cry if they cried when they buried Malcolm X." Which, yeah, that's a really good fucking point. The song is a favorite of mine. It's a great fucking track. Life of an Outlaw is a track of bragging about how Pac escaped his previous life of crime to fame and fortune. Lyrically, nothing too new for Pac, but the guitar on the beat is a pretty cool touch. Outlaws are on this track, and see my comment earlier about their performance here. Just like Daddy kinda scared me at the start because it's 2023 and I trust no song with the word Daddy in the title. Apparently this was going to be on an album by the Outlaws, and it really shows considering that Pac only has one verse and is on the hook. The song is still pretty good, as Pac raps about a girl who's down for him despite him being arrested. It's a good sentiment, and it's not as corny as the other For the Ladies tracks can be around this time, even on this album. Honestly, it's a skill to rap about sex without coming off as kind of weird posturing, and for the most part, this song avoids it. Crazy is apparently considered one of the best songs on the album, and while it does see Pac reflect on his past, I think this is one of those songs that runs a bit too long, and Pac's flows are a bit more simplistic than he had shown on other songs to this point. It's not a bad song, but not one of the stronger ones from the album. White Man's World, however, is a reflection of the black condition in a white man's world. The flows are once again a bit simplistic, but the subject matter of Pac writing to his mother and sister is incredibly touching, as he talks about the many difficult experiences for those who look like him and them in America. This is a great example of Pac's more conscious side that I don't think gets the respect it deserves today. Me and My Girlfriend is not an ode to his girlfriend, as I previously thought, but apparently an ode to his gun, similar to Vince Staples' When Sparks Fly, which is a great song y'all should definitely listen to as soon as possible. It may be Vince's best written song. The chorus on this song, however, can feel a bit corny if you didn't draw the parallels like I didn't until writing this, but knowing that the song is about a gun gives the song a very outlaw western type feel. Also, I'm not 100% certain on this, but the 96 Bonnie and Clyde line really seems like it could have inspired the song 97 Bonnie and Clyde from the Slim Shady LP. Not necessarily an earth-shaking revelation, but it is still kind of cool either way. Hold Your Head Up is a dedication to those still facing time like Pac had, and this is an absolutely smooth vibe, and the production on this track is some of my favorite on the album, bringing a sense of hope in the face of darkness. It'd be a decent feel-good closer if it weren't for the next song. The final song on the album, Against All Odds, sees Pac back on the warpath, getting as aggressive as ever and taking name shots at everyone. Dr. Dre, Mobb Deep, Nas, De La Soul. This song is honestly also a bit conspiratorial, with Pac saying, "Probably murdered for the shit that I said," which may be the most true statement on this entire album, unfortunately. We'll never know. With as fiery a track to close out this great project as this, it does have a certain creepy factor to the close of the album, knowing now that this would be his last album. Before I listened to Tupac, I always wondered where his acclaim came from, because of course I would hear a lot of people talk about what the man believed and stood for, while maybe occasionally mentioning his music, which I did at the beginning of this video as well. This album, though, I think showcases the talent that was unfortunately lost as a part of the coastal rap beefs of the times. The songs on here not only go hard in the whip, but they can be conscious and reflective, in a balance not really seen before, but expanded on by those he influenced. Honestly, the biggest one I could think of was Kendrick Lamar, who I think you could make a very clear line of influence from Pac to Kendrick, and even this album in their balance of the conscious and, the bangers. Overall, though, this is a solid Tupac album, and honestly, I'd recommend starting here to dig into this legend's discography. The Don Killuminati, The 7-Day Theory, is an 8 out of 10 and currently sits at number 156 on my list of albums. Be sure to let me know your favorite Tupac song in the comments, and I'll see y'all for the next review. Pieces.